I travel to hunt a lot, and I've always thought it would be nice to have a trailer to store my gear in. I could just back up to the trailer and go instead of loading and unloading the pickup and dealing with the situation like if I shoot a deer or an elk or a bear, what do I do with the meat and how do I get it home and all of that. And I just always felt like having a hunting trailer would be a great idea, and I've kind of developed in my mind how I would want that to look. Well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to convert this trailer into a hunting trailer. Now let me tell you a little bit about this trailer to start with so you know where we're starting here. I bought it used. These trailers will run about $3,000 to $3,500 new. I paid $1,500 for a used one. It was a little rough inside. The guy that had it before me, he raced go-karts, and the walls were kind of rough, so all I've done so far is repaint the walls and haul the shelving and junk that he had in here, got that out of here. I wanted a trailer with a ramp in the back rather than the barn door type, because occasionally I'll need to pull a four-wheeler in here. It's also just easier to load and unload with a ramp type door. This trailer is 6 foot wide by 16 foot long interior dimensions, and it's just a single axle, and it's got a feature that most of these trailers don't have. Most of them have, if they have a side entry door, it's on the curb side. This one's got one on the passenger side, which I really like, because when you just jump out of the truck and walk back, open the door, get it, grab something if you need it, it's just so much easier than having to walk all the way around. That's a pretty rare feature on these, but I really like it about this one. So that's enough about the trailer. Let's tell you a little bit more about what I plan to do with this. I need storage area in here, so I'm going to have a place to hang tree stands and sticks and that type of thing. I'm going to set it up so I can actually butcher a deer in here. I'm going to have a chest freezer. It's got lighting, but it's not that great, so I'm going to improve the lighting. It's going to have both 12 volt and 110 volt hookups, which of course I'll need for the chest freezer. I'll either have to plug it in wherever I can, or else a generator to use the chest freezer. So I need storage in here, and I'm going to set it up also so I can camp in here in a situation where I would need to spend a couple days and be able to camp in here. It'll be real basic type camping, but so anyway, that kind of gives you an idea of what I'm looking at here. I'm going to walk you through the process. You're going to get to watch me remodel the inside of this trailer, so let's get to work. Okay, I've got these cabinets installed. This overhead cabinet, along with the one, the other cabinet, are just simple kitchen cabinets that I bought at Menards. And I paid about $110 for them. And I did something that needs to be done that most people might not think of, and that's they don't come with latches or handles, because normally you just pull them open. They have very little resistance. But rather than have everything fall out on the ground when you're going over a rough road, I put some latches and handles on there. These are friction latches, so they snap shut and they'll stay shut. They won't come open when you're just going down the road. So altogether I probably have about $120 in these two cabinets. Okay, just to show you, I've started putting a few things in the cabinets here. Stuff that's going to go in this overhead cabinet. Basic things that you should have along on every trip. Probably in this cabinet also we'll put the deer butchering equipment, knives, sharpening steel, wrapping paper and stuff like that will probably all go in this cabinet. And here I've got things like scents and lures. There's a GPS in there, some calls. You know, you get the idea. Things that you're going to have along on every trip. Scouting cameras. That tackle box there is full of extra bow equipment. Anything I need to modify or fix anything on my bow is in there. There's extra broadheads and things like that. Okay, I'm making some progress here. I've got the cabinets in, I got the freezer in. The freezer's still going to have to be strapped in with a ratchet strap. I haven't done that yet. I got the 12-volt battery in, put a deep cycle battery in there in the case, and I just, they provide a strap, but I just use the 4 screws to screw the case right to the wooden floor. So it's got a deep cycle battery that's hooked up to the wiring, and it's also hooked, whenever the truck is plugged in, that battery's charging. It's also going to be hooked up so that anytime you're running a generator or plugged into 110 volt current, then it'll also be charging the battery. So now I have 12 volt lights in here, and also this trailer already had these back lights. It already had these back lights already hooked up, which is kind of nice because they're nice for loading and unloading. Or if you just back the trailer right up to a deer or an elk or something like that and want to skin it. So I got more to do, but I'm having fun here, and it's 17 below out. I sure am appreciative of my buddy Ron, who allowed me to use his heated shop to do this in here. Okay, I'll walk you through what I've been working on here. I've got some more done here. So first of all, as you can see, I've installed a outlet strip there so I can plug in the freezer, and that outlet strip will go have an extension cord that just goes down to that hole in the floor, and that way I can just run an extension cord to a 110 volt source or a generator, and I'll just plug that hole in the floor with a rag or something like that so it doesn't get dust in here when I'm going down gravel roads or whatever. I've strapped down the freezer, so that's done, and then I've also got my butchering table set up here. Now this comes out of here real easy. As you can see, it's just a table, and I've put some PVC pipes on each of the legs so it's nice and high. It's easy to work on that way, and it's just strapped with a bungee cord, so it's pretty solid. I've got the lights in. I went ahead and got some LED lights from my RV place, so I got really good lights in here now. I put one right above the freezer so you can look right down in the freezer real easy. So anyway, there's more to do here, but man, it's really taking shape, and next time I show you this, I'll probably just take this table out of here, and then I'll show you a couple other ways that I can set this up. Okay, as you can see, I've installed the hangers for the tree stands, and I've got 3 tree stands that hang on this wall. They simply hang, they're hung by the metal bar that runs across the top of here, and then there's a good stout bungee cord that keeps them from flopping around too much. And I also took some carpet remnants, these squares of carpet, you can get them free or for $1 or $2 at any carpet store. And I put those on the wall behind the stand so it keeps them from, you know, scratching up the wall real bad, because there'll be a fair amount of vibration when this thing's going down the road. So there you go. The stands are up, and we're just about done here. Well, this is one of the ways that I'll probably use this camper, and that's to camp out in here. I've put a rug on the floor. I've got a cot that folds up. It just rolls up, and I can throw it on the shelf up there, and then I've got a pad. And if I'm going to camp out in here a lot when it's cold, I'll probably either put a roof vent in or a small window on one of the walls with the screened, so you can open it and close it to get some air ventilation so I can run a small propane heater in here. It wouldn't be safe to run a propane heater in here now without any ventilation, so all I can run right now is electric heat, and that's fine if I'm, you know, camped out in a friend's driveway or, you know, anywhere that I can hook up to electricity. But I don't know how much I'll actually camp in here, we'll see, but it is a good option if I end up a long ways from a motel. Well, I've got this trailer all set up the way I like it. You know, I did a lot of improvements to it. It's really all set up for the type of hunting that I do, where I travel to several different states and hunt specifically whitetails, but also other species. And I think it's going to work out great for me. It's going to be really nice to have a lot of gear that I can put in here and just leave it in here so I can just hook up the trailer and go. I can take this rug and bunk and all this out and pull a four-wheeler in here if I need to. But I'm pretty excited about this, and I hope that it helped you and gives you some good ideas for the traveling hunter. And if you are a traveling bow hunter, I would encourage you to get my book called The Freelance Bow Hunter. You can go to BernieOutdoors.com and get it, or Amazon. And it's got tons of good tips about traveling to hunt to different states and hunting public land, dealing with public land pressure and so forth. And then it's also got a reference in it with the top DIY whitetail states, and it tells you even which counties are the best counties in the state, which ones produce the most big bucks and so forth. So if you're interested in a really good book on the subject of being a traveling bow hunter, this is for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the bow hunting road.